Hi everyone, Ms. Kline again, and today I'm going to show you how to use Microsoft's MakeCode Arcade game builder. This is very cool. You're going to use real programming. You can use blocks, or you can program with JavaScript or Python and build your very own game. For our purposes, we're just going to be doing the tutorials. If you really like it, you are certainly welcome to build your own game from scratch, but the tutorials lead you through it and they're a lot of fun. So for this example, I'm going to show you how to use the tutorial Chase the Pizza. So you'll see you're on the MakeCode Arcade site and you're going to choose Chase the Pizza. And then you can either build it in JavaScript, Python, or use the blocks we've been using. And everything you need, they tell you step by step in the tutorial. So in this tutorial, you're going to create a game with two sprites, and the one sprite is going to try to catch the other sprite. One's your character, and one is the food that you've created. So it tells you step by step. There's about 20 steps before your game will work, and they're very straightforward. And you can read the instructions at the top, open the scene, drag the set background color, put it in your start block, and then click next. In the set background color, you're going to click the gray oval to open the color palette and select a background color. And you can see it work over here on your device. And then click next. Next, they want you to open up Sprites toolbox and select Set My Sprite. Put it in the start block. And this created a new player character for your game. Now you're going to either draw your character by clicking in the gray box of the Set My Sprite, or you can use the gallery. And Ms. Kline used the gallery, and I was using the little orange fish. So my sprite is a little fish, and it is a player in the game. Click next. Now we're going to use the controller and drag Move My Sprite with buttons controller block. It's going to go after where you set your sprite. Now your sprite can be controlled by the controller. It's really neat. Whee! Look at that fish go. Yay! And don't forget, you can use the light bulb if you need a hint. Now we're going to open sprites, and we're going to get a second sprite. This time, this is going to be for your food. So you put it in the same start blocks and click next. The instructions are really clear. They go very slowly, step by step, so you don't do too many steps at once. Now you're going to set what kind of a sprite you want. So you can choose, you can draw it in the editor, or you can choose something from the list. And since this is the pizza one, I'm going to use the pizza. So it kind of makes sense with this tutorial. So now I have a pizza. We're going to click, type in pizza. We have to name our variable. So go down there in the My Sprite 2 and rename the variable as pizza. In the set pizza block, click on player and select food. So now we know that that second sprite is actually the food, not the player. So the food is the one that's going to be moved around the screen that we try to chase. Click next. Step 10, we're going to set the gray box for the pizza. Find the image of a small pizza. So you'll see Ms. Kline already has done that step. I jumped ahead. So click in the box and you can choose which one you like. They said that there was a little tiny pizza in here, but I think that's the only pizza that I found, so it's the one I'm going to use. Click next. Now we're going to open the sprites toolbox, and on sprite overlaps other sprites. So we need to use that as a separate block. It does not go in the start block, and you see it doesn't even fit. So it's a separate set of movements. Click next. Now we're going to click on sprites overlap, click on the second player kind after other sprite and select food as its kind. So the first sprite's a player. The second sprite is food. We haven't said anything else yet. So step 13. When our player overlaps with the pizza sprite, let's add a point to our game. So open Info Toolbox and drag the change score block into the on sprite overlap. So this is telling us when the sprites overlap, give the score of 1. Let's set the position for pizza to random locations. Open the sprites toolbox and set my sprite position. So this is going to set the sprite position of one of the sprites that we've named. So in the sprites position block, the my sprite variable will be pizza because we don't want our player to move. We want the pizza to move. So now it's saying that this sprite is going to move around randomly. Currently not randomly yet, but it will be moved. Now we're going to go into math and pick random. So go to the math blocks, pick random. And we want both the X and Y coordinate to be random. So it'll move around. The arcade is 160 pixels wide and 120 high. So in the first pick random block, we want to set the value from 10 to 160. And in the Y coordinates from 10 to 120. Good. We're next ready for the second to last step. Let's restart our countdown each time. Open the info toolbox and drag a start countdown block on sprite overlap. So every time you hit the pizza, you get more time. So that's kind of neat. So when you're playing the game, if you catch the pizza, your timer will start over again. Congratulations, you have completed your game. Use the game simulator to play your game by moving the player around the screen and try to eat as much pizza as possible. So this is really fun. And then there's different ways for us to save the game, and I'll show you that in just a second. So I need to move my there. And so you'll notice every time I hit it, I get a point, and the timer starts over. So you'll get really good at it. I was playing with my student this week, and they definitely were better at this than I was. It was great. And if you actually download it to your device, you can play it on a real device, not just on the simulator screen. So I'll run out of time in a second here. And every time I hit it, it starts the timer over again. So I'll let the timer run out, and then you can see when the timer runs out, it gives you a sound that indicates that you've lost the game, and you can see how many points you've earned. Good job, 22 points, woohoo! So this was a lot of fun. Now there's ways for you to download it. You can download it to various devices. And you can choose your hardware or download directly to a device. And this is, would you like to share your project? So this is very cool. Call your project Chase the Pizza, and you can give it a name. And you can take a photo of it. So you need to publish your project to share it or embed it in other web pages. So now your project's ready. So you can copy it here. You can share it on Twitter or something, or Facebook, or other places. And you can also get an embed code so that you can put it with the simulator. So here's where you can copy your codes and things like that. So hope you had a good time. Turn in a screenshot of your blocks. So you can leave that there, and then you'll get full credit. Good job.